there, welcome back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. Well, some people in some parts are having a really nice warm spell, but up here in southern Ontario, we had a snow and ice storm the last couple of days. The temperatures are pretty nippy today, and we've got snow on the ground with like a crust of ice on top, which makes walking really hard. But I'm out here this morning because I do have the chickens to give them their treat and collect their eggs. And there's something I need to do today, a project, and I'm hoping that this is the last year I have to do it. And the reason is there's something in the slug hut that I want to show you, which means I may never have to do this again. Now, for those of you who don't know, that big white building behind me is what we affectionately call the slug hut, because when we were buying this property 4 years ago, my older daughter said that it looked like a giant white slug. It's a Quonset style barn, which we hope to eventually renovate into a proper wooden barn, but for now it's covered in this white tarp. It looks like a giant slug, and so we know it as the slug hut. But in the slug hut is something exciting. And this is what I'm referring to. These stacks of glass. Now this is actually greenhouse glass that my husband and I picked up, gosh, I guess it's 2 years ago now. We found them on just a selling site like Kijiji, which is similar to Craigslist. And so we got about, I think there are about 200 altogether. And these are, of course, for my greenhouse. My project for today is to get this area cleaned up and ready for seed starting. Now, the reason I showed you the greenhouse glass is hopefully this summer Craig will have the time to build my greenhouse out near my garden, and I'll be able to start most of my seeds out there. I might have to start the really early ones still indoors, but I won't have to do so much of it in here. And this is not the ideal place to start seeds. This is actually a spare bedroom. And right now, it's more than a spare bedroom. It's a seed starting station, but it's also storing most of our living room. Now, the reason most of our living room is in here, all the things off our bookshelves, some of the chairs, lamps, is because we're hoping to start the renovations on our living room. I've mentioned in a previous video, we want to put in a high efficiency wood burning fireplace. We want to redecorate. We want to put new trim up. We want to paint. And I think in the end, we're going to be putting in new flooring when we work around through the dining room and into the kitchen. So the flooring may have to wait for a while. But in order to do that, we've had to remove everything out of the living room. So for now, all the things, all the decorations are sitting in here in this poor spare bedroom, which is doubling as my seed starting station. Now, because we had to bring everything up here, you can see on the top shelf there I have some sort of ceramics and some decorations, just all kinds of stuff. And I want to get ready because even though it was so bitterly cold out there today, but spring is going to come eventually, and I do want to be able to start my seeds. And as it is right now, I can't fit anything on these shelves. Now, this is just an old desk that my son didn't need anymore. It is not a nice rack like some people have for starting their seeds, but you know, you have to use what you have. And what I have is this old desk setup that I have repurposed as my seed starting station. Now, next year out in my greenhouse, I will be able to start probably the tomatoes and peppers, and keep some things. I'm hoping that I can keep some things longer and even grow them in the greenhouse, like some lettuces and cold weather crops, so I can extend my season. Now, the greenhouse glass, I should mention, my husband and I got those, as I said, about 2 years ago. We found them online. See, in Ontario, in southern Ontario, it used to be a large tobacco growing region. I remember driving around with my parents, and you would always see lots of greenhouses and then these tall huts. They were almost always painted green and red. I don't know why, where they would sort of smoke the leaves afterwards. Now, a lot of that has gone with, you know, the decrease in popularity of smoking. There are still a few tobacco farms down that way, south of the 401. So you can still see some, but a lot of the greenhouses and a lot of the little sheds fell out of use. So this greenhouse glass was actually in an old tobacco greenhouse. The panes are 2 feet by 2 feet, and they're quite thick, and we got them for a really good price. I think in the end I paid less than $1 each for them. So I'm really, really pleased. So we're constructing the greenhouse around the size of these panes to make it as large as we can, and have a nice big greenhouse. So that's the plan. Craig says this is the year I get the greenhouse. I've had to be very patient while we've done other work around the property. I'm really hoping this is the last year I have to do the bulk of my seed starting in a little back room, kind of dark. Makeshift shelves, makeshift everything. So I'm hoping that that's going to happen this year. You can see that I've turned the lights on now. I have already got some things growing here. I should talk a little bit about the lights that I have. Well, actually, I'll do that after it's cleaned up. You can't even see them all. But this unit here is a really good quality grow light garden. Now, I actually got this for free. My daughter was part of a group on Facebook, a Buy Nothing group, maybe you've heard of it, where people exchange things they don't need anymore to other people in their local area. And someone did not want this anymore. Can you imagine? I'm so excited. So I have this really nice grow light system. I have to see what the name is on it. Grow Light Garden. By Garland. It's amazing. Right now I have, and I can give you an update on my plants, these are my Stuttgarter Riesen onions, which are doing great. These front 2 pots are the few leeks that sprouted. I still have to buy more leek seeds. I was looking the other day and I didn't see any. And the 3 behind are my celery. I sprouted the seeds and then I transplanted them. So I have 3 of them going and they're looking super. And all the rest of these are my cedar trees. You saw me stratify the seeds and see them poke up, and now you can see I've potted up almost all of them. I think there's a few more I have to do. See if I can get a bit closer. You can see that now the little seedlings are getting a little tuft of leaves up there. Now these are not those flat cedar leaves that they get eventually, but this is the next stage. So right now I have about 28 cedar trees started. But no more fooling around. I have to get this cleaned off and ready to go. So here we go, all done. That looks so much better. Now these things right here actually don't belong inside, they belong in it with my gardening stuff in the red room, so I'm going to take them out. But down here in the corner there, you might have seen me put the cloches away. I'm going to use them as soon as it warms up under my hat there. Then I've got my seeds, my seed starting pots. Those are mostly all seeds and seed starting supplies down there. Then we have this grow light. I looked it up. I think they're worth a couple of $100. So I am so grateful that my daughter managed to find that for me. This is another one of the grow lights that I have. I'm probably going to turn it that way so that I can put several trays across it like that. It's not ideal, but you make do with what you have. This one I looked up, and I think it's about $60 now. Grow lights aren't cheap, but I know I got that one on sale at the end of season sale, so I think I paid about half price for it. I think I paid about $30. I have another grow light here that Craig hung up for me. I think that's about another $30, but again, I found it on sale, this one here. So again, when I have the trays up here, these are just my empty trays getting ready. When I have the trays lined up here, I'll probably turn them that way to get maximum room. And you can see that the light is not going to hit them all because it only goes from there to there. So I tend to rotate the trays every day so that I don't have any plants leaning this way too much to get the light. So I'll just have to switch them around. This little older lamp fixture has a grow light bulb in it just to help the stuff in this corner. I don't have it turned on right now, but it's purple. And then there's these grow lights up here. That's my lemon tree. So up here, these will have to be hardier plants because they're only going to get the light that either comes from over here or from the window. And that's my tray for my watering and misting cans. There we go. Oh, I should also mention I actually have a heat mat under here, but I only have the one. It was a Christmas present, so I use it in here. I'll be moving these plants out when I need to put in more heat sensitive seed starts like peppers and tomatoes. They'll go on the heat mat. It's not actually even on right now because the onions and the cedar trees don't even need it. So there you go. I'm ready for another year of starting my garden from seeds and waiting for spring to come. Bye for now.